Now we have Scott Graham, CEO of Rex Energy.
My name's Scott Graham. I'm the founder and CEO of Rex Energy. And look, we met a lot of you about a year ago. Rex Energy is becoming the future energy provider that exists in Australia, right? And look, eventually we'll scale outside of Australia, but right now we're focused right on Australia. And we're the future of energy. And I'm going to explain why. There's the animation. So, look, we set out last year to design and build, we just came to you with an idea, the world's first renewable energy ecosystem for multi-tenant buildings, because multi-tenant buildings cannot equitably access the roof space, the tenants that reside within multi-tenant buildings, they can't equitably access the roof space or the electrical infrastructure to generate, store, and equitably consume renewable energy. However, it's my distinct pleasure to present to you the Renewable Energy Exchange. And we said we'd build it, and we built it. It is a very exciting piece of equipment, folks. So, one very important thing to understand about the atmosphere that of which we're living in right now, it's quite interesting. The power grids that we use today were developed, does anybody know how many years ago they were developed? This year? 140 years ago, Mr. Thomas Edison installed the first large-scale centralized generation and distribution network. And they haven't changed much since. But we're in a point right now where they must evolve. And they must evolve because of a number of reasons. But Princeton University recently came out with a report or a study that they executed. And what's happening in the marketplace is pretty interesting. The message about our ecosystem, our global ecosystem is really getting out there. And everyone wants to run everything on energy, which makes pretty good sense, providing that our transmission and distribution systems can make it through that, right? So can support that growth. So everybody's moving to inductive cooking and electric vehicles, right? Electric heating. It's not that long ago that everyone switched those Insta-Hot gas heaters. Now they're ripping those off the wall and putting electric ones back in. So everything's moving towards electricity. So Princeton University says something pretty interesting. They predict an increase of peak energy demand by 40 to 60% over the next 8 years. Holy crap. In Queensland just a few weeks ago, before the floods, we were asked to shut off loads or we would face rolling blackouts. And during the floods, of course, we blacked out. So that's a big issue, right? Would everyone agree with that? See a show of hands? That's a big problem. So in order to solve that problem, we can no longer rely on centralized energy production at big power plants, right? Because those big power plants are being decommissioned. Those coal-fired power plants and all the rest right now. And so that transmission and distribution system in Australia, it was built during the 50s and 60s with a 50-year life expectancy. What year is it now? Oh, shit, right. So that means we have to maintain it. But the problem is that there's so much transmission and distribution cable in Australia that it could wrap the world 23 times. Try maintaining that in a cost-effective manner, right? We can't. So Rex Energy, we exist specifically to decentralize and democratize the global energy market by unlocking access to turnkey renewable energy solutions at scale. So our plan is to use the rooftops of large-scale, urban-situated, multi-tenant buildings, right, to generate and store energy, deload the grid, de-stress the grid, and then we'll have that energy stored at these multi-tenant buildings in abundance of energy to help support the grid when they need it most, right? We can transform energy for these building owners from an expense now to a revenue stream, which is pretty exciting. So it's a problem we're solving, right? You might not know this, but people and tenants that reside within multi-tenant buildings are the single most disadvantaged energy consumers in the entire marketplace, right? They're so disadvantaged that the power companies provide them with the worst energy prices because they know they can't access renewable energy. They don't consume an abundance of energy, so they don't get a discount. So they're in that bad spot, right? So they must rely exclusively on grid energy. And here's one of our markets, commercial. Multi-tenant commercial represents over 25% of Australia's energy consumption. Now, taxonomy, you know this. We generate energy presently at a big power station, transmit it, distribute it, and those poor multi-tenant consumers just get the worst of it, right? So we're going to disrupt that legacy centralized model at Rex Energy. We have developed the infrastructure to equitably deliver renewable energy, believe it or not, to all of the tenants within a multi-tenant environment. You can't manage what you don't measure, so we literally measure everything, every few milliseconds. That gives us the ability to then control the output of renewable energy in an equitable manner to all of the tenants. If I know the live energy demand of every tenant every few milliseconds, I can then provide them that exact amount of energy every few milliseconds. So we generate on site, we store energy on site, and we distribute that energy on site. We meter it, monitor it, and we sell it on site for less than what they can buy from the power grids, I guarantee you that, because we don't have to pay for grid access fees, we don't have to pay for transmission fees and distribution fees. We're more profitable than those lovely energy retailers that exist out there. All of the unused energy in the night, or if we have all of that energy stored in a battery and the grid's having a major issue, we can support the grid with the energy stored in that battery and jet set that straight to the power grid to back them up. The legacy power grids will now become nothing more than a backup energy supply to multi-tenant buildings, which are in fact the largest energy consumers in Australia. How good is that? So we transform every multi-tenant building into its own fully cloud network power plant. Imagine having 100 of them installed around a city and understanding when the power grids need energy and when they don't. We can support the power grids and sell energy for less to all the tenants. So we've got a really cool app. I'm going to pass through the slide pretty quick. Come see us. We're opposite this corner in the ballroom here. Check out the app. It's super cool. Shareholder or stakeholder benefits. Right? Before Rex Energy, a multi-tenant building, 100% of it sold to them by the electricity grid. The energy retailers love it. Right? The tenants can't stand it. This is just an example, right? But Rex Energy, with Rex Energy, they might rely on the power grid 0 to 15%. The rest of that energy is produced on site, stored on site, and sold on site for less. The market size, it's massive. We don't want to do everything at Rex Energy, right? So we understand we've got a great market in commercial, residential, and retail, but not residential houses. Multi-tenant sites, primarily when we're talking about residential, we're looking at multi-tenant retirement villages that are community titled. Those are a perfect application for us. Then we have multi-tenant commercial and multi-tenant retail. That alone gives us about 88,700 and some odd project opportunities in Australia alone. And here's what that means to Rex Energy. This is the total available market. It's over $275 billion worth of revenue to us. So you can imagine if I just get a fraction of that market, Rex Energy is going to be a $1 to $10 billion company within the next 36 months. This is a project opportunity. All I want to draw your attention to here is our gross margin. It's pretty attractive, especially to an investor. Now, I'll be very clear. It is my objective to grow this company to be a $1 to $10 billion company in the next 36 months. If I just captured 46 projects in the next 36 months, our annual revenue for 20 some odd years is $6.8 million a year every year. Every project I do increases my annual revenue stream because it very simply increases the size of our urban, sprawling, renewable energy power plant that's cloud networked. And I'm being told my time is up. But at the end of the day, look, we've got a product roadmap. We are innovators. We've got other products in the pipeline. We're not going to do it all at once. We're going to do one, perfect it, rock it out, get it into the marketplace, and then continue to add value. And we have competition, but they suck. So, look, this is our team. We've got a great board of directors. And I have an excellent team that surrounds me. A wonderful support group. They're brilliant people. Come and meet them in the corner pocket opposite us here. I'm raising $4 million because Victoria is about to change their legislation to pave the way for this particular product. I'm going to seize the market in Victoria. We're going to seize the market in New South Wales and in Queensland and roll throughout the rest of Australia. And I'm slowly going to take over the world. So that's it, folks. Thank you very much for your time. Apologies about the technical difficulties at the beginning. I hope you have a great day. Come see us. We have a winning team. We have a great group of people. We're forward thinkers. We know how to get things done. I've shown you that on screen here. We said we'd build it. We'd build it. We're going to do a hell of a lot of great things this coming year. So we look forward to having you on board as an investor and a supporter of Rex Energy. Thank you very much, everyone.